A calm, May morning in Perth, a locked house, a mother alone. At 10, a call came. Rebelo said he found his mother dead, his voice calm, too calm. No broken glass, no forced entry, only silence. Police arrived. Found Colleen in the bathroom, the shower running, her jewellery still on, her watch ticking under the water. Something was wrong. She never wore jewellery in the shower. She never forgot the mat. Every habit broken. Andre stood outside, calm, steady, emotionless. He said he had just visited her. He said she was fine. Detectives felt something off, but without proof, the case closed as natural. Weeks later, an insurance company called Andre had filed claims worth over $1 million, all in his mother's name, all written days before her death. The calm morning was no accident. It was the beginning of a secret, the calm before the crime. From the outside, Rebelo's life looked perfect. A young couple living in modern Perth, a beautiful home, a bright future, and a little boy who completed the picture. Andre shared his world with Gracie Piscopo. She was everything social media adored, confident, graceful, and followed by hundreds of thousands. Each post shimmered with sunshine, matching outfits, luxury trips, perfect smiles. They seemed unstoppable, the kind of pair who made people believe that love could buy happiness. But what no one saw was the weight behind those smiles. Andre was not just a partner, he was the manager, the man behind the camera, the one handling contracts deals and brand money. When Gracie's influence grew, Andre's own world began to shrink. He dropped out of university to build her career. He told friends he was proud to stand behind her, but somewhere in that shadow, his pride turned into pressure. Their life online moved faster than their reality could follow. Lavish vacations were mostly sponsored. Designer cars were financed. The house they showed off was rented, and their bank accounts whispered a truth that filters could not hide. Debt piled quietly. Over $120,000, late payments ignored, tax bills hidden, and behind the polished images sat two people living on illusion. Andre believed he would catch up, that his cryptocurrency ventures would save them. He called himself an investor. He spoke of big profits and bright futures, but every trade pulled him deeper into loss. 3 years later, his grand investment was worth just $22. Gracie's brand kept shining. Her followers kept growing, but Andre's own confidence began to fracture. He was tired of being the man behind the woman. He wanted to prove that he could build something too. Something powerful. Something that made money fast. Then there was Colleen, his mother. The only person who questioned the life he was living. She saw the distance growing between who he was and who he wanted to appear to be. She told him to slow down, to build something real, not digital. But he didn't listen. He wanted results, and he wanted them now. Andre had charm and intelligence, but when those traits meet desperation, they can turn dark. He started researching finance documents, studying contracts, learning how insurance policies worked. He told himself it was preparation, that he was helping his family plan for the future. But in truth, he was planning something else. The perfect life, he showed the world, was cracking. Bills were due. The dream was fading, and the illusion he had built with likes and followers needed a savior. He began to see an answer in numbers, not people, in payouts, not paychecks. And when you start replacing love with money, it never ends softly. In May 2020, Andre smiled for one last photo, a family portrait, bright and warm. The next week, that same smile would stand outside his mother's house, calm, steady, unreadable, to the world. He was still the man from the perfect life, but the truth was already moving toward him, quietly, relentlessly, waiting behind a locked door. Before the headlines, before the trial, before the word murder was ever spoken, there was Colleen Rebelo, a mother, a teacher, a quiet soul who believed in kindness more than anything. She was 58. She had raised 4 children on her own after her marriage ended. She worked hard every single day. She taught lessons that were more than math or reading. She taught her students how to be gentle in a world that wasn't. Her home in Bicton was small, but full of life. Sunlight touched the kitchen every morning. The garden was neat, green, and calm. She loved her plants, loved her books, loved her quiet walks. Neighbors said she was always smiling, always asking how everyone was doing. She was the kind of woman who noticed when someone was missing from church, the kind who sent food when someone was sick. Colleen believed that life had seasons. Some were heavy, some were light, but love and faith could carry you through all of them, and for her children, she would have given the world. Andre was her second oldest, the one who used to sit beside her while she marked papers. The one who talked about dreams and ideas and how he wanted to be great one day. She believed in him like only a mother could, even when his choices scared her, even when he stopped calling as much, even when she saw a distance in his eyes that she couldn't explain. She didn't understand the world he lived in anymore, the filters, the followers, the online fame, but she tried. She watched his videos, liked his posts, left small comments that said, "Proud of you, son." She wanted to believe that he was happy, yet deep down she worried. She saw that something was missing in him, that hunger that needed to prove something to everyone. She prayed that he would slow down, that he would find peace in real life, not just in screens. In 2020, she finally felt ready to begin a new chapter. She had gone back to school, completed a healthcare degree. She wanted to work helping people again. Her friends said she was glowing, that she was proud of herself for starting fresh at her age. She said she felt free, like she was finally moving forward. But the thing about new beginnings is that they make some people uncomfortable, especially those who are falling behind. Andre was struggling. His business was failing, his debts growing. The more success his partner, Gracie, gained, the smaller he felt, and the smaller he felt, the more he looked for control. He didn't talk about it with his mother, but she felt it, that quiet worry that only mothers sense. She told her sister she was worried about him, that he seemed restless, distant, that he wasn't the same boy she used to know. Still, she loved him. Still, she believed he would find his way back. She never imagined that her biggest fear wasn't losing him to fame or failure, but losing her life to him. Because for Colleen, everything she did came from love, and sometimes love can be blind to danger. It can't see the storm gathering behind the smile. It can't hear the footsteps of betrayal until it is too late. The world saw Colleen as another name in a headline, but to those who knew her, she was more a mother who believed in goodness until her last breath, a woman who carried hope even when her world turned dark. Her story was never supposed to end in silence, but it did, and the man she had given everything to would soon take everything away. It was a Monday morning in Bicton, Perth. The sky was soft grey, the air cool and quiet, another peaceful day that no one would ever forget. Inside the small house on Prestwich Street, Colleen Rebelo was beginning her morning routine. The same routine she followed every single day: breakfast, tea, feed the cat, water, the plants. A calm rhythm of ordinary life. Around 10 in the morning, her son Andre arrived. He said later that it was just a normal visit. He said he stayed about 45 minutes. He said they talked about life and family and the future. And then he left. But something about that morning was not normal. Not at all. At 1:30, her sister drove by the house. She noticed a car parked in the driveway that she didn't recognize. She thought maybe a visitor, maybe one of Colleen's friends, but she didn't stop. Later she realized that same car belonged to Andre. By 2:30, Colleen's youngest son. Fabian finished his shift at the local supermarket. His mother always picked him up every single day without fail. But that day she didn't come. He called her phone 13 times. No answer. He started walking home, thinking maybe the traffic was slow. It was only a 10-minute walk, but it felt like forever. When he reached the house, everything looked normal. The curtains drawn, the car still in the driveway. He called out for her. No reply. Then he heard the shower running. He felt a small wave of relief. Maybe she just lost track of time. But when he called her name again, silence. He pushed open the bathroom door, and what he saw would haunt him forever. His mother was inside, kneeling in the shower, her body still, her skin pale, the water still flowing over her shoulders. He froze. Time stopped. He shouted her name again. No response. He pulled her out of the shower, covered her with a towel, and called for help. Paramedics arrived minutes later, but she was already gone. They checked for signs of injury, for medication, for anything that could explain it. Nothing made sense. Her watch was still on. Her jewelry still in place, the bath mat still hanging over the side. Everything wrong in small, quiet ways. Police arrived, took photos, wrote notes, and left without answers. No forced entry, no sign of struggle, no reason to believe anything but natural causes. That night, her children sat together in disbelief. She had been healthy, she had plans, she had dreams. Andre arrived later that afternoon with his partner, Gracie, and their baby. He held the child close but never cried. When asked what time he had last seen his mother, he said late morning. When asked if he noticed anything strange, he said no. But grief doesn't usually look that calm. It doesn't sound that steady. In the days that followed, the family tried to make sense of what had happened. They planned her funeral. They searched for comfort. But one thing kept echoing in everyone's mind. How could a woman so full of life simply stop? For a while, the world moved on. The file on her death closed quietly, the word accidental written on the report, until a few weeks later, when a phone rang at the local police station. An insurance company wanted to report a concern. They said someone had filed a claim for over $1 million in the name of Colleen Rebelo, and that claim had been filed by her son. That was the moment everything changed again. The case reopened, the calm shattered, the truth started crawling out from behind the silence. The call from the insurance company changed everything. Detectives went back to the file that had been marked closed, and suddenly what looked like a tragedy began to look like a plan. Andre Rebelo had filed for more than $1 million in life insurance. He was the only beneficiary, not one of his siblings was listed, and all 3 policies had been created just days before his mother's death. The timing was impossible to ignore. It was as if someone had been waiting for that moment, waiting for it to happen. Investigators began to dig into the paperwork. What they found shocked them. The documents looked official at first, signatures, stamps, medical forms, but when experts examined them closely, they found errors that made no sense. One policy listed Colleen's date of birth incorrectly. It used Andre's own birthday instead. Another included a fake doctor's name. The third contained a medical certificate that did not exist in any hospital record. The deeper they looked, the stranger it became. The handwriting on some forms matched Andre's. The digital files traced back to his own computer, and then came the will. A new will appeared, one that no one in the family had ever seen before. It stated that Colleen had left everything to Andre. Every cent, every asset. Nothing for her other children, nothing for the family she loved equally her whole life. Her siblings knew immediately that it was fake. It went against everything she ever believed, but Andre submitted it as real. He said his mother wanted him to handle the money, that she trusted him to divide it later. Detectives were not convinced. They found evidence that Andre had created false psychiatric reports. He had used online templates, fake signatures, even an artificial voice clip claiming to be a professional confirming Colleen's mental fitness. The voice was not real. It was generated by software. The picture forming in front of investigators was terrifying, a web of forged documents, a chain of lies, all built around a single motive, money. When they looked at Andre's finances, the truth behind the illusion came out. His accounts were drowning in debt. He owed over $120,000. His luxury life was built on credit, the car financed, the home rented, the vacations sponsored. The only way to maintain that world was through cash. Fast, easy cash. In the weeks after his mother's death, he had contacted 3 separate insurance companies, filing claims with precision, each time providing new documents. Each time adding one more piece of the puzzle he thought would keep him safe, but the timing betrayed him. The fake birth dates, the missing doctors, the altered files, all pointed back to him. By August 2020, the police had turned a quiet death investigation into a full criminal probe. Detectives placed Andre under surveillance. They watched his movements, listened to his calls, tracked his emails, and what they heard confirmed their fears. He spoke about the payout, about how once the money cleared, he would be free. Free from debt. Free from the pressure of pretending to be successful. He didn't talk about his mother. Not once. In the silence of those recordings, investigators heard the truth. This was not a mistake, it was a choice. The kind of choice that changes everything forever. The case was no longer about confusion, it was about calculation. Andre had turned family into finance, love into numbers, grief into profit. And now the web he had spun was tightening around him. The mask was beginning to fall, and the calm voice that once fooled everyone was about to face the noise of justice. 2 years passed before the knock finally came. November 2022. Detectives arrived at Andre Rebelo's home. They asked him to come with them. He did not resist. He did not ask why. He only said, "I knew this was coming." Inside the police station, he sat calm and quiet. The same calm that had followed him since the day his mother died. But this time, silence would not save him. Detectives laid out everything on the table. The false insurance claims, the forged documents, the fake will, the debts, the digital evidence. They told him that every lie had left a trace, and every trace pointed back to him. Andre denied everything. He said the documents were part of a financial plan, that his mother knew about the insurance, that she had asked him to manage it for the family. But when asked for proof, he had none. In November, he was charged with the murder of his mother. The man who once smiled for family photos now faced life in prison. The trial began in October 2024. 8 weeks of testimony, 8 weeks of unraveling his story, piece by piece. The prosecution called it greed, cold, deliberate greed. They showed the insurance papers, the will, the timeline that made no sense. Expert witnesses told the court that the cause of death could not be determined, but that it was likely due to personal violence. They said suffocation can leave no marks, that small abrasions on Colleen's face and arms matched someone being restrained. Then came the most chilling part, evidence that Andre had been at the house longer than he admitted. His aunt saw his car there at 1:30 in the afternoon, 2 hours after he claimed he left. During that same time, his partner Gracie had called him 12 times. He ignored every call. When asked about it in court, he said he was busy. The jury listened to everything. The calm voice, the missing hours, the forged documents, the money trail, the AI-generated recordings. The debt piece by piece, the illusion fell apart. Gracie took the stand. She said she had no idea about the insurance, that she was shocked and betrayed when she found out. She said she never believed he could hurt his mother. But she could not explain the lies either. By December, the courtroom was filled every day. Reporters, family strangers who wanted to see how a son could destroy everything for money. After 8 weeks of testimony, the judge gave the case to the jury. 2 days later, they returned with their verdict, guilty of murder. Andre sat still, no tears, no reaction, no words. On April 1st, 2025, the Supreme Court of Western Australia sentenced him to life imprisonment. He must serve a minimum of 25 years before he can apply for parole. The judge called his actions calculated and monstrous. He said Colleen trusted him, and he betrayed her in the most unforgivable way. Outside the courthouse, her family stood together. They did not celebrate, they simply held each other and cried. For 4 years, they had waited for justice, and now it had finally spoken. But even as the sentence was read, there was still talk of an appeal. Andre's lawyers said he would challenge the verdict, that he still claimed his innocence. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but the truth is already written in the silence he created. The man who once built a digital dream now lives behind concrete walls, and the life he tried to buy with lies is gone forever. Justice may have come late, but it came. And in Perth, people finally spoke her name again. Colleen Rebelo, the mother whose love was stronger than the lies that tried to erase her. The story of Andre Rebelo is not just a crime story, it is a mirror. A reflection of what happens when illusion becomes more important than truth. For years, Andre built a life out of images. Every post, every photo, every smile designed to look perfect. He lived inside the lens of a phone. A world where happiness is measured in likes and love is filtered through screens. But real life cannot stay perfect forever. Bills come due, dreams crack. and behind every shining surface there is always a shadow waiting. Colleen Rebelo lived in that shadow without knowing it. She believed the images she saw. She believed her son was doing well. She believed he had found success, because that is what mothers do. They believe, even when the truth is too heavy to see. In the end, the contrast between illusion and reality became unbearable. Online, Andre was the image of success. Offline, he was drowning in debt. Online, he smiled. Offline, he forged signatures and searched for ways to turn love into profit. The world saw a man who seemed calm. The court saw a man who planned everything. What makes this story haunting is not just the crime, it is the silence before it, the quiet moments when nothing looked wrong, when everything looked beautiful. That is how illusion works. It keeps you watching, it keeps you fooled, until the curtain falls and reality walks in. When people heard the verdict, they were shocked, not because of the sentence, but because of how ordinary it all looked. A nice family, a happy couple, a quiet neighborhood, and a mother who never thought the danger was standing in front of her. The truth is that darkness does not always come with warning signs. It smiles, it hugs, it says, "I love you," and then it takes everything away. Colleen's story reminds us that real love is not about perfection. It is about honesty. It is about safety. It is about peace. The illusion Andre created was powerful, but reality always waits, and when it finally arrived, it shattered everything. Now the pictures are gone, the lights dimmed, the followers moved on, and what remains is a single truth, that no life built on lies can last forever. Colleen's legacy lives on in the hearts of those who remember her kindness. In every student she taught, in every person she helped, in every story that now carries her name, she believed in love. And maybe that is what makes her story so painful, because love should never end in betrayal. It should never end in silence. The illusion is over. The truth has spoken, and the world finally sees what was hidden behind the filters. A mother's trust broken, a son's greed exposed, and a lesson that will never fade. Every story leaves an echo. Some fade quickly, others stay forever. The story of Colleen Rebelo will not fade because it carries a message that every viewer needs to hear. Behind every smile, there can be silence. Behind every picture, there can be pain. And sometimes the ones who seem the calmest are the ones hiding the darkest truths. Colleen was more than a victim. She was a mother, a teacher, a friend, a woman who believed in love and forgiveness until her final day. Her kindness deserves to be remembered. Her voice deserves to be heard. And her story deserves to protect others from the same silence. If you are watching this and you feel unsafe, if you see signs that something is wrong, do not stay quiet. Reach out. Tell someone, because silence never saves. Speaking does. Dark justice is more than stories of crime. It is about the people who never got to finish theirs, the ones whose love was stronger than their fear, the ones who trusted too much, and the ones who deserve justice. Let Colleen's story remind us all that behind every illusion, there is a truth waiting to be seen. Thank you for watching. If you believe these stories should continue to be told, subscribe to the channel. Share this video. Help these voices be heard. Because when we tell their stories, they live again, and in that justice never dies.